right, we mentioned the risk to Pepperdine University students. I'd like to bring in one of those students, Pepperdine student Nicholas Gerding. Nicholas, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. First, what is the situation like right now where you are?
The situation now, so like Nancy Lou said, we have followed our orders of our shelter in place being lifted, and lots of us have either gone back to our dorms, or I am now stationed in the library just because that is the only place that has cell service because our power is still out. So a lot of us have either tried to leave campus or gone back to our dorms to try and get some sleep. But that's the state in which we are in right now.
Yeah, I know you certainly had a very active night. Nicholas, kind of describe what the situation was like for you 12 hours ago. Describe what it was like during that shelter in place.
Yeah, so that shelter in place kind of came maybe an hour or so after the group that I was in decided to head to the library where we know the shelter in place would be ordered. A lot of it was just sitting and waiting. And that was probably the scariest part, but I think everybody here very much understood that that was the name of the game, is that we were just going to have to sit and wait and see what officials and what people around us were saying to do. And our president, Jim Gash, came into the library several times to give updates to us as the fire kind of got closer. And so the worst part was when it was right up against the windows of the library. And that was the scariest because they ordered us to stay away from those windows, and we all kind of huddled in the middle of the library for about 30 minutes before those fires were kind of taken care of. But we all had an ear to our phones as much as we could and listening for any sort of instruction that we could take.
All right, Nicholas, what was the feeling when people saw this fire essentially right outside of the windows? What was the mood like in the library at that point?
Yeah, so it went from hey, maybe our finals will be canceled to, oh, this is serious. This is a time to really pay attention and lock in here and find the people you care about and make sure that everybody's accounted for and we all got handed out masks. Everybody has what they need. And the mood shifted from, oh, this is something that's kind of scary, to this is business. We need to all be adults here and really focus in on the task at hand, which was staying safe and listening to our officials.
Was there a point, Nicholas, during that shelter in place, particularly when the flames were right next to the window, where you were seriously concerned for your safety?
Absolutely. I was telling a couple of my friends there, I was trying to remain as calm as I could, but there were about 30 minutes where I genuinely did not know if I was going to be okay or not. I hid myself back in one of these study rooms with a couple of my friends, and I plopped myself down in the corner, and I was going through what my trajectory was for the rest of the night if it didn't go well, because it was really looking like it wasn't going to go well. And coming to terms with the fact that, I mean, not to be blunt, but that my life might end today was a hard 30 minutes to sit through and kind of manage. So yes, it was very, very difficult.
Yeah, very difficult, especially because, you were doing essentially all that you could do. You mentioned that a lot of people had phones to their ears. Were you able to get in touch with your parents or your loved ones?
Yes, luckily I was one of very few people that was able to get cell service. I'm not sure how that was possible, but I was able to get in touch with my mom and my dad and my girlfriend back in New York. I'm from Kansas City, where my mom and dad are. And then I was able to use my hotspot so others around me could get in contact with who they needed to get in contact with.
I'm so glad to hear that. Nicholas, have you ever experienced anything like this before?
No, nowhere close. I mean, in Missouri, we have our fair share of tornadoes, and they get pretty serious. And I mean, here we've had a couple of earthquakes, but I don't think I've ever been a part of something so serious and so life-threatening before. And we'll find out what it does to me in the future, but it was definitely an experience I will never forget.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.